Sometimes the people you respect the most are the ones who deserve it the least. I never thought I'd be the type of person to secretly record conversations, but desperate times change you in ways you never expect. My name is Alex, and for 3 years I was the senior financial analyst at Meridian Construction, a mid-sized company that specialized in commercial building projects. I genuinely loved my job and had tremendous respect for my boss, Leonard Hayes. He was charismatic, seemed ethical, and had built the company from nothing into a $20 million operation. Leonard wasn't just my boss, he was my mentor. When I graduated with my finance degree, he took a chance on me when bigger firms wouldn't even return my calls. He taught me everything about the construction industry, invited me to client dinners, and even attended my wedding 2 years ago. I thought we had a relationship built on mutual respect and trust. That illusion shattered on a Tuesday morning in March. I was reviewing quarterly expense reports when I noticed something odd. There were payments to a subcontractor called Alpine Services that I'd never heard of before. The amounts were substantial, usually between $15,000 and $30,000 per invoice. What made it suspicious was that Alpine Services appeared on projects where I knew we used our regular subcontractors for those specific services. Being thorough was part of my job, so I dug deeper. Alpine Services had no business license that I could find, no website, no legitimate business address. The payments were always approved directly by Leonard, bypassing our normal verification process. My stomach started churning as I realized what I was looking at. Over the next week, I discreetly investigated further. Alpine Services was receiving money for work that was already being done by legitimate contractors. Essentially, Leonard was double-billing clients and pocketing the difference through this fake company. The amounts were staggering. Over the past 2 years, Alpine Services had received nearly $400,000. I couldn't sleep. This wasn't just creative accounting or cutting corners, this was outright fraud. Our clients were being systematically stolen from, and if this came to light, it wouldn't just destroy Leonard. It would destroy the entire company, including the jobs of 37 innocent employees who had no idea what was happening. I spent sleepless nights wrestling with what to do. Part of me wanted to confront Leonard directly, to give him a chance to explain or fix things, but the rational part of my mind knew that would be naive. You don't accidentally create a fake company and funnel hundreds of thousands of dollars through it. After a week of internal torture, I made the decision to contact our biggest client, Morrison Development Group. They had a right to know their money was being stolen. I also reached out to the State Contractor Licensing Board and provided them with documentation of the fraudulent billing. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought Leonard would be caught, the clients would be compensated, and maybe the company could survive under new management. I never anticipated how ruthless Leonard could be when cornered. It took exactly 4 days for Leonard to figure out that I was the source of the investigation. He called me into his office on a Friday afternoon. I'll never forget the look in his eyes, cold, calculating, and completely different from the warm mentor I thought I knew. "Alex," he said, not asking me to sit down, "it's come to my attention that you've been spreading malicious rumors about this company to our clients and regulatory agencies." I tried to stay calm. "Leonard, I found evidence of fraudulent billing through Alpine Services. I had an ethical obligation to report it." His expression didn't change. "What you had was an obligation to your employer and the people who depend on this company for their livelihoods. Instead, you chose to be a destructive whistleblower who's trying to tear down everything we've built." "I was trying to protect the company by addressing illegal activity before it got worse." Leonard leaned back in his chair. "Alpine Services is a legitimate consulting company that provides specialized project oversight. The fact that you couldn't understand the complexity of our business arrangements doesn't make them fraudulent. It makes you incompetent." I knew he was lying, but his confidence was unnerving. "Leonard, there are no consulting reports, no legitimate business address, no..." "Enough," he held up his hand. "Your accusations have already caused significant damage to our client relationships and our reputation. Effective immediately, you're terminated for cause. Security will escort you out and you have 15 minutes to clear your desk." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. "You can't fire me for reporting illegal activity." "That's retaliation." Leonard smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "I'm firing you for making false accusations against the company and damaging our business relationships through your reckless behavior. Good luck explaining that to your next employer." As security walked me out, I realized Leonard was right about one thing: this would be devastating to my career. Who would hire a financial analyst who'd been fired for cause by his previous employer? Even if I was eventually vindicated, the damage to my professional reputation might be permanent. But Leonard made a crucial mistake. In his arrogance, he assumed I would just disappear quietly. 2 weeks after being fired, I was struggling to find new employment and burning through my savings. Leonard had made sure to spread word in our industry that I was unreliable and prone to making unfounded accusations. Every interview ended the same way: politely, but firmly rejected once they checked my references. That's when Leonard called me. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. His voice was different, less confident, more desperate. Alex, I think we got off on the wrong foot. Maybe we can work something out. I was recording the call on my phone app not because I planned to, but because I'd been recording all my job-related calls lately to keep detailed records for potential legal action. What kind of arrangement? I asked. Look, the state board is asking a lot of questions about Alpine services. Of our clients are getting nervous. Maybe I was too hasty in letting you go. My heart started racing. Are you offering me my job back? There was a long pause. I'm offering you something better, a consulting position, very well paid, $50,000 for 6 months of work. Doing what? Another pause. Helping me restructure the Alpine services situation. You understand the financial systems better than anyone. I need someone I can trust to help me reorganize things properly. Couldn't believe what I was hearing. Leonard, are you asking me to help you cover up fraud? I'm asking you to help me resolve some accounting irregularities before they become a bigger problem for everyone involved. By accounting irregularities, you mean the fake company you created to steal from clients. The silence stretched for nearly 10 seconds. When Leonard spoke again, his voice was barely above a whisper. Alpine Services started as a way to create a buffer for unexpected expenses. Construction projects are unpredictable, and sometimes we need flexibility in our billing to maintain healthy margins. It wasn't meant to be permanent, and it wasn't meant to hurt anyone. I couldn't stay quiet. Leonard, you stole nearly $400,000. That's not managing unexpected expenses, that's systematic fraud. The clients got their buildings. The work was completed to specification. The Alpine Services fees were essentially a project management surcharge that should have been built into our original bids, but it wasn't disclosed to the clients. Another long silence. No, it wasn't disclosed. I pressed further. So you created a fake company to charge clients for services that were never provided, and you've been pocketing the money for 2 years. When you put it like that, it sounds worse than it is. Leonard, that's exactly what it is. You've been systematically defrauding your clients. I heard him take a deep breath. Alex, I built this company from nothing. I have 37 employees who depend on me. I have a mortgage, kids in college, a reputation in this community. If this Alpine Services situation destroys everything, it doesn't just hurt me, it hurts a lot of innocent people. Then why did you do it? Because margins in construction are getting thinner every year. Because clients demand lower bids but expect the same quality. Because sometimes you have to be creative to keep a business viable. Creative or criminal? The longest pause yet. When he finally spoke, his voice was defeated. I guess that depends on your perspective. From mine, I was doing what I had to do to keep 37 families employed and maintain a successful business. From yours, I was stealing. I felt a strange mix of pity and anger. Leonard, this conversation isn't fixing anything. The state board investigation is still ongoing. That's why I need your help. You could tell them it was a misunderstanding. That you reviewed the situation more thoroughly and realized Alpine Services was legitimate. You want me to lie to regulators. I want you to consider the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that you committed fraud, then fired me for reporting it, and now you want me to help you cover it up. His voice turned cold again. Or you can keep being the righteous whistleblower and watch this company collapse, putting 37 people out of work. Your choice. I hung up. The next morning I sent copies of the recorded conversation to the State Contractor Licensing Board, Morrison Development Group, and the District Attorney's Office. The investigation moved quickly after that. Within 2 weeks, Leonard was arrested for fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering. Alpine Services was revealed to be registered under his wife's maiden name at a post office box address. The fake invoices totaled just over $460,000 across multiple clients. Leonard's assets were frozen pending restitution proceedings. The company was placed under court-supervised management while the legal process played out. Most of the employees eventually found work with other contractors, though it took several months. Morrison Development Group and the other affected clients recovered most of their stolen money through insurance and asset seizures. Leonard ultimately served 18 months in federal prison and was banned from the construction industry. As for me, the recording and my cooperation with the investigation completely cleared my reputation. Morrison Development Group actually hired me as their internal financial oversight specialist, with a 20% salary increase from what I'd been making at Meridian Construction. Leonard's wife divorced him while he was in prison. His kids, who I'd met at company picnics, refused to speak to him after learning about the fraud. The man who had been so concerned about protecting 37 families had destroyed his own in the process. I sometimes think about that phone call and Leonard's justifications. He genuinely seemed to believe he was doing the right thing for his employees and his business. But good intentions don't excuse criminal behavior, and protecting one person's mistakes shouldn't require destroying someone else's integrity. The recording was the key to everything. Without Leonard's recorded confession, it would have been his word against mine, a successful business owner versus disgruntled former employee. The audio proved that everything I'd reported was true and revealed the full scope of his fraudulent activity. I learned something important through this experience. Doing the right thing isn't always immediately rewarded, but truth has a way of surfacing eventually. Leonard thought he could intimidate me into silence, but his desperation led him to confess everything in his own words. Sometimes the people who talk the most about loyalty and integrity are the ones who understand it the least. Leonard demanded loyalty from me while betraying everyone who trusted him. He talked about protecting his employees while stealing from the clients who provided their paychecks. The hardest part wasn't losing my job or struggling to find new employment. It was learning that someone I genuinely respected and trusted was capable of systematic deception. It changed how I evaluate people in situations. I'm more skeptical now, but also more confident in my own moral compass. If I had to do it again, I'd make the same choice. Some principles are worth defending, even when the cost seems too high to bear. The truth might be painful, but lies are always more destructive in the long run. Leonard taught me that lesson better than any mentor ever could.